If you can't hit me, it's because I'm fucking better than you.
What's up, guys? Airsoft Nomad here, bringing you another video in our sort of mini series here with Sheriff. And basically, this is going to be a funny video because we're just going to probably rage. No, we're not going to rage.
I'll try to keep the swearing to a minimum.
We're going to behave. Promise, I think. So basically, this will be a why do people cheat in Airsoft, and why, like, just why? Why is it so ridiculous with cheating? Is it like this in paintball? Do people cheat real bad in paintball?
I would say in tournament paintball, hell yeah, guys cheat. Because there's a competitive, like they're trying to win. Back in the day, I remember watching guys train, and it was like they were taught how to cheat, like how to slide and get the paint off, how to hit a bunker and get the paint off. So, I mean, yeah. In rec play, nowhere near as much as Airsoft, no.
That's, I figured, because obviously when you get hit with a paintball, it leaves the
Pretty damn obvious that you got hit with it.
Pretty obvious, or you get smacked in the face,
yeah.
The paint explodes all over your mask.
And to be honest with you, it definitely, I mean, it hurts, depending where you got hit. It definitely hurts more than an Airsoft BB. You usually don't, I mean, rental players, certainly, they don't want to get hit again, they're done.
Yeah, they don't shrug them off.
Yeah, no. Airsoft? Why do people cheat in Airsoft? I mean, the short answer is because they aren't any good. That would be my personal opinion.
I'm right there, to be honest. And you know what blows me away? Is everybody always says that it's the kids that cheat a lot.
It is not the kids.
It is not the kids.
It's not
the 30-year-olds all kitted out with the Polar Star that are cheating.
Not this guy, but yeah.
He's 40. He didn't fit in that dynamic.
Yeah. I've been accused of cheating many times, and what my personal opinion to do on the field, if people think you're cheating, I mean, obviously it's not worth the argument. Just call your damn, okay, you got me, go back and respawn. But if it becomes a problem throughout the day and people are repeatedly saying, you're cheating, just go. I don't know about your fields where you play, but I know at our field, if we have a problem, just go ask a ref, hey, can you follow me around for a couple minutes? Just so I can shut these guys up because you're not cheating. Mm-hmm. And I think, honestly, a lot of the problem comes from, at least what I've seen at our field, where we're playing, and I'm strictly speaking about the field we play at, no other fields. I know Nomad spent a lot of money on his gun. I know I've spent a lot of money on mine, and they shoot far. Yeah. They do reach out and touch you. They're not shooting hot. They're not. We're not cheating. We're not turning up our regs. Nope. They just. I mean, that's what you get when you spend that kind of money on a gun. They shoot and they go far. And I think people get upset because they're not understanding. They're like, well, how could he possibly be hitting me and I'm not hitting him? Mm-hmm. And the reality is because I'm better than you. No. The reality is the reality is because we have spent money on upgrading our guns, and anybody who upgrades their gun, it's obviously going to shoot better than an out-of-the-box gun.
Correct.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, even at right out of the box, like Crytek or VFC Avalons, they're well known, or KWA. They're known for being good guns right out of the box. Yeah. Do they perform as well as a fully upgraded Polar Star with 450 millimeter Prometheus barrel with an R-Hop? No.
I would assume. I don't know what that is, but again. Jackal, please fix my gun, make it awesome, give it to me, and I want to go shoot a bunch of people with it. That's how I play Airsoft. But yeah, I get what you're saying. No, like a Crytek or a VFC Avalon or something, they're good guns, and maybe that's part of the problem with people when they cheat. Like, well, I have this nice Crytek or I have this nice Avalon, and I know I should be hitting him. Well, I can still tell you that there are plenty of people on that field, not just me and you, other guys who have very nice upgraded guns. And I'm probably the same thing at any Airsoft field. There's always going to be that guy who's willing to go spend $3,000 on his Airsoft gun, and he's probably going to be able to shoot farther than anybody else on the field. So maybe that's what it is with cheating. People get naturally pissed because everybody wants to be an alpha. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I 100% agree in our scenarios where we run into it. Not at every field, but definitely where we run into it.
Right, yeah.
Where we get called out personally for cheating, it's usually because we're shooting literally across map, and we are not running DMR spec limits. We're shooting at 1.5 joules
Yes.
with 0.36 gram or 0.32 gram BBs,
Yeah.
and we're hitting people. And you know, somebody else is shooting at us, like we said. And it's not to talk shit on G&G combat machines, but
No.
if you're playing with a G&G combat machine that's stock with 0.2s,
You're just not gonna have the range.
you're not gonna. Yeah, our replicas are, not to make us sound like dicks, so that we're way better.
Anybody
but
who spends
the performance is
Yeah.
up here with our replicas compared to here. You know, and then a stock Crytek or an Avalon is not here. But it's not at the bottom. It's here. So you got slightly better, and I think, you know, the reality of it is with not just you. I mean, you and I, we run into it a lot, but I mean, it's also anybody who is a more aggressive player.
Yeah.
I don't even want to say the words good, because you don't necessarily have to be a good player
No.
to get accused of cheating. But if you are an aggressive player, somebody who goes after the objectives, somebody who's not afraid to eat a BB,
Yeah.
somebody who's willing to run into a room and start, you know, going to town with a trigger finger and capture objectives and do the things you're supposed to do, you're automatically going to be accused of a cheater, because people think that it's not something that they would do, so they don't think you should be doing it, and the fact that you did it, you know.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
I would agree with that, but I will say I'm sure everybody has played Airsoft and probably been hit and not called it. Maybe not
For sure.
intentionally called it, but you know, you take a hit, you just didn't know you got hit. I mean,
For sure.
yeah, but if you get hit in your neck and you're like, "Oh, that hit, I'm gonna keep playing."
Yeah.
I mean, that's cheating to me. So
Yeah.
I
That's
guess
that shrugging hits that we were, like I mentioned earlier, like with paintball, you can't shrug it.
Yeah.
Because the paint's on you. Where like Airsoft, obviously you can shrug it. And I think there's definitely scenarios where it's explainable. Like if you're running and you got a full kit on, like we both wear vests, and you're wearing, you know, ECUs or whatever, and you're running at full speed, which is not fast for either one of us because we're both old and fat. But
I
we're
wouldn't even
running
call
at
it
full
running,
speed.
yeah. But for me, it's more of a slow
And you
trot.
take a hit in the vest and you're running, you know, you're probably not going to call it because you didn't feel it. You probably didn't hear it.
Yeah.
And it is what it is. So in that scenario, I wouldn't call someone out for cheating. But it's a totally different thing when you're someone sitting completely still and you hit them, and once in the goggles, once in the neck, and then once in the chest, and they do one of these numbers,
Yeah.
and then sneak back into their cover.
So that leads me into this. What do you think about overshooting people?
So anyone who watches my videos knows I get accused of overshooting. I look at it like this. I'm going to keep shooting at you, and I don't run full auto. I don't.
I do. This is fun as hell.
Because you're toxic.
And apparently I am toxic, but if you let me run full auto, I'm going to run full auto.
So even when I'm allowed to run full auto, I typically don't. I'll run semi, just for the overshooting purpose, because our guns shoot fast. I'm going to keep shooting at you, because not every BB connects, even on a fully operated gun.
Right.
I'm going to keep shooting at you until your hand comes up. As soon as the hand comes up, I stop. Now, of course, there's a delay. So if I'm squeezing the trigger as fast as I can on my Polarstar F2 with a max speed trigger with hardly any trigger pull, I might zoom 10 BBs at you on semi-auto in that split second it took for you to go, ow, I'm hit, and my hand's up.
So would you consider that, there are people out there that say, well, not you necessarily, but people in that situation, well, you're overshooting me, you're cheating. I don't consider that cheating. I consider that a result of being shot at.
Yeah. I would consider that more to me along the lines of like aggressive gameplay.
Yeah.
Like you're playing even objective or elimination. I'm there to capture the objective, so I need to eliminate. So if I see you and you're a target, I'm gonna, I don't want to say kill, but I'm going to eliminate said target.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna shoot you until you are eliminated.
I'm gonna shoot until I stop the threat.
Precisely. Yeah. So I mean, that's how I would look at it. I tell you what pisses me off with cheating a lot is when you throw a grenade.
Oh yeah.
And it's the 10-foot rule, right? At our field, it's 10 feet. It might be different where you are, so you know, don't just take everything we say as the mandatory rules for airsoft. But where we play at, I throw a grenade and it lands 2 feet from you and it blows up.
Yeah.
And you shrug that shit because you say it was over 10 feet.
Yeah.
And
that also counts when it blows up in the air. If it blows up in the air above you, that doesn't. You're still fucking dead. Sorry. Like, I hate that. You throw a grenade, at somebody and it blows up in the air. Well, it wasn't 10 feet. How do you figure it wasn't 10 feet? Just because it was 5 feet above you.
Yeah.
Like
it's a 10-foot radius.
You're out.
You know what I mean? Like a real grenade at umbrellas, right?
Yeah.
So airsoft is going to be the same exact way in my mind. But there's definitely people, and like I'm not, people accuse me of cheating all the time. And I'm not going to say that. There's probably been times that I've been hit and I was running, or I'll be straight up. There's times when I watch my videos again and I get hit right in the GoPro.
And you're like, oh shit.
And I don't realize it because in the heat of the moment I'm fighting. I'm not going to feel a hit on my GoPro.
Right, but that's different than in the heat of the moment getting a hit and not noticing it versus repeatedly being shot.
And I agree. To me, that
like,
is a different scenario. Now, if someone showed scope cam footage of me getting shot in the face, the neck, 3 times in the chest, and once in my leg, and then I just peeked right back in the cover, you're cheating.
Yeah.
That was very clearly you cheated.
What do you say about friendly fire as far as that goes?
If it's cheating, or
yeah, what do you think? What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, I think it should count.
I would say that it should count too, but I didn't realize that last weekend when we played when Ranger Rick shot me in the freaking head 3 times.
You didn't realize that friendly fire counted?
No, I just stayed in. I didn't realize that.
I got you.
But hey, I wasn't accused of cheating by Ranger Rick, so.
What a nice guy.
What a nice guy. Shot me on my own team in my head.
3 times.
I hope you watch this video.
So was the first time on accident and next time to see if you call your hit?
No, it was all 3, just and then he just shot me in the head 3 times in a row. He was snapping a corner and he just decided he wanted to shoot a little closer than he needed to.
So I guess the only type of other cheater that exists that we have ran into, not necessarily at OXL, but at other places, I won't name them, would be like
the speed softer?
The speed softers are ridiculous. But people turning up their HPA systems,
Yeah.
or people that have the quick chain spring system and chrono with 1 spring and then swap it out for another spring.
See, in my opinion, if you get caught doing that, you should be banned from the field.
I agree. Ejected.
Like, you should not be going to play airsoft or any sport for that matter, going out with the objective of inflicting pain on another individual.
And those people will make the argument that they're cheating like that to gain that little bit of like competitive edge and range. But to me, you want to hurt people.
Yeah, and you're not gaining anything because you're by nature cheating. So you're not any better than anybody else there. You're cheating. That would be like us playing Mortal Kombat on Xbox and I put in an invincible cheat code. You can't, like, how are you, if I beat the shit out of you every time, I'm a better than you.
Right.
Just cheating.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's something we've definitely ran into. I mean, I know there's been accusations of it at some and shit. I've been accused of shooting hot. I've been chronoed on the field.
I'll tell you what.
Many times.
Yeah. I chrono every weekend. I reg lock my stuff. That being said, could it creep during the day? I mean, yeah, if it's warmer, colder in the morning, whatever. But just re-chroning if that's the case. I mean, changing springs and stuff out, though, that's dirty. I mean, if I caught somebody doing that,
ejected.
like when I owned the field, if I caught somebody doing that, they'd have been banned. That's it.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, that could just, not only could that hurt somebody, but you could go break goggles, break teeth. You could ruin some little kid's entire life. I mean,
literally.
Like, yeah.
And that's the thing I think people just don't think about.
Yeah.
They don't understand the consequences of their actions.
Yeah, like you do that and you're thinking, oh, I'm gonna get that extra 10 feet, but somebody accidentally pops out in front of you, you know, from a tree or something, and that goes through their goggles and blows their eye. That's it, dude.
That brings up a really good point too. That honestly does piss me off. Now we're getting off topic. This isn't cheating, but it's kind of cheating if you think about it. What do you think about the DMR limits at our field at OXL and sniper limits? Because a rifleman's allowed 1.5 joules or 400 FPS with a .2 BB, or where the DMR and sniper is 2.32 joules or 500 FPS with a .2 gram BB. So having said all that, before anyone freaks out, there's a 100-foot med rule on people that have DMR and sniper. But is that actually enforced? And are people truthfully engaging at that over 100-foot mark? Because I know for a fact I've seen people that are running DMRs, and someone like you said, that scenario pops out at 40 feet. Are they not going to shoot them and just get shot and be like, well, I'm in my med, so just kill me? Or are they going to pull up and pop off a couple shots at 40 feet with a gun that's shooting 2.32 joules.
I think they're going to probably just shoot, and then they're not going to worry about it. But the problem with that is, again, it brings us right back into, could that break goggles? Could that break skin? Could that knock teeth out? I mean, I can't speak on it. I will say that whatever the owners of OXL feel is the proper rule setup for that, we'll follow it and play the right way. But I can say that our field, like, I would think OXL is, in my opinion, most fields are a little too small for DMRs and sniper rifles.
Yeah.
That's my personal opinion.
I agree.
I would say most fields, in all honesty, are probably a little too small for that.
Yeah, I mean, because like close to us, I mean, in terms of big fields, would be like ambush or EMR.
Yeah.
That you could realistically say a DMR would be acceptable, usable,
For sure.
and safely could stay within a 100-foot net.
Yeah.
But at OXL,
You're pretty much limiting yourself to the outside edges
yeah,
of the
like
field.
if you play castle,
Yeah.
you're literally going to have to sit and spawn. Because if you push up 20 feet, you're within your 100-foot net.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't run DMR or sniper, so I can't really speak. I know you have a DMR, so you've played with it. Personally, I don't see the benefit to a DMR, especially at smaller fields. I mean, really, you could just upgrade your gun a little bit, and it'll reach those distances safely.
Yeah. I think, so with the DMR that I have, or had, was a Umbrella Armory, Crytek SPR DMR. And that thing absolutely ripped. It was extremely accurate. Shot stupid far. But that's why I sold it. And that's why I don't have it anymore, because it got to the point where I realized that it was almost stupid to play with it at OXL, because the only map that you realistically could use it on was trenches.
Yeah.
And I would have to stick to that outer ring, because if people push up to the middle or beyond trying to capture the base, they're too close. And I, of course, try to follow rules, which, I mean, we all should be, but I especially try to. Number one, because I want to be an honest person and do the right thing. But number two is, the reality is, I have a camera on my head filming everything that I do.
Yeah.
So if I were to say cheat, or let's just say the worst case scenario that happens to me and I'm running a DMR, I shoot a 10-year-old in the goggles from 30 feet.
Yeah.
Breaks his goggles and hits his eye.
You're gonna feel like shit first.
I'm gonna feel like shit.
Yeah.
But I guarantee you, there's gonna be some consequences that come along with that.
Yeah. I mean, I would think you're liable for that.
I would think so too, especially since I had a GoPro running, and they're gonna probably, if I got sued, subpoena.
Yeah.
That film.
Yeah. Well, I guess you got to think about what do you want to play with? What's important to you?
Exactly.
I mean, what do you think the benefits to a DMR are? I get the sniper position. Most of those guys, they're gonna play the outside edges anyway.
Right.
And they like, that's, to me, that's totally different than a DMR, in my personal opinion. They're more of a laid back hide player, whereas I feel like a DMR is more out in the open. I just want to have that extra range.
So I think the purpose of the class of DMR is to be like the sniper, but obviously in Airsoft, real world, but Airsoft especially, you have the semi-auto capability. But realistically, you're shooting the same joules as a sniper rifle.
Right.
So if you're using a heavy BB, the range would make no difference, because as we all know, as long as you match joules with BB weight, as heavy as you can go, it doesn't matter if it's a bolt action or a semi-auto gun. So, and Airsoft. So I think the purpose of it is to act as a sniper, but I think the reality of what really happens and how I played with my DMR, because
you could.
I have some toxic videos up of me playing with that DMR, of me just doing toxic things. And, I could sit at the bottom of trenches and laser beam. I'm not talking no arc, laser beam to their spawn.
Yeah.
And every game, at the beginning of the game, I would pwn, like, I could get the whole team out like that.
I think that's actually part of the reason we changed the spawn on that field, was after that game.
Probably.
Just laying there.
Because I did that. And, granted, that's a toxic thing that I did, and I'll admit to that. I mean, it's not cheating. I didn't cheat.
No, it's not cheating.
It was in play. They were in. They were playing. I just had it so happened to have a replica that could shoot a laser beam to that position.
Yeah.
So, in the scenario of reality and what I was doing, and I think the reality of everyone who plays the DMR there, is they are staying just far enough that your replica, unless it's upgraded like you and I's, that has similar performance, they can hang back and smoke you from 275 feet away and stand out in the open and be toxic. It's not like running an LMG.
Yeah, I think it's pointless and there's no need for it. That's my opinion.
I guess that's what I'm getting at too. Is should we, do we agree with running that?
Again, whatever your field rules are, but I don't see any point in it. It seems totally pointless to me. That being said, I have one more topic with cheating. What are your thoughts on spawn trapping? And
Okay.
what would you consider spawn trapping? I mean, if I'm moving to an objective and I get to a certain point in the field and now I have the ability to just simply shoot people at their spawn, how is that cheating? And at what point should you just say, oh, let me go somewhere else on the field now?
I think the spawn camping, it depends. It's scenario. It's like depends on the situation, because I think on a bigger map and an objective type game type. So like if you move,
let's use our favorite field, trenches. I know most of your viewers aren't gonna know. Well, most of them probably know exactly where that is.
Yeah.
You've played trenches.
Right.
I've played trenches. No matter where you get to on the field, although it's one of the biggest fields at OXL, when you get to a certain point, you can just shoot everybody coming out of their spawn.
Yeah.
So do you think you should give them 5 second, 3 second, 2 seconds? Should you let them run out of their spawn, or should you just shoot them as soon as they try to get back into the game? Because I'll tell you right now, I shoot them as soon as they come back into the game.
You monster.
Like, hey, you better run.
For me,
you better run. That's all I'm saying.
For me personally, I don't think it's cheating in that scenario, because you worked to come up a hill or down the hill to gain the position. You tactfully placed yourself to be able to put the most effective fire on the enemy.
So
in that scenario, you're not cheating. Personally, morally, and because it's on camera and I film for YouTube, I'm not going to shoot people, especially if it's a 10-year-old kid.
I'm not going to shoot a 10-year-old kid.
I know. I'm making you look like
I'm not
shit,
that guy, okay? I'll let the 10-year-old...
You came in strong with the I wipe them out.
I'll let the 10-year-old get away. But anybody else, if you're running from the spawn, you're getting shot. That's my personal opinion.
For me, I won't shoot at you until you start shooting at me. Or if you're clearly advancing to try to kill me, like you're just moving to cover to hit me, to shoot me, I'm going to take you out.
Okay.
But if you're leaving your spawn and you're running to the other side of the map because you don't want to mess with me, you don't want to get spawn camped, I'm going to let you go. Unless you're on Havoc and you pissed me off that day, then you're getting shot out.
You're a better man than me, because I'm going to shoot you once you run from spawn. You would shoot me, I'm going to shoot you. What are your thoughts on the walking across the field? Like, I was accused last week of cheating because I simply walked from cover to cover. I didn't put my hand up. I didn't have a dead rag. I didn't pretend to be shot. I simply walked.
I would say that I do that every time, because
I don't think that's cheating at all. I just don't want to run. And if you are...
So you did like the abominable snowman walk, like that clip, and then like they caught you like mid-frame walking across?
I mean, basically I held my gun at low ready and I walked up the side of trenches from cover to cover, and at the end of the game people were like, well, you cheated. I said, well, how did I cheat? Well, you were pretending you were hit. I said, well, when did I put my hand up? When did I call out? When did I have a dead rag on? Did I pretend to be hit? Well, no, you weren't shooting at me. Well, how the hell is that cheating?
Yeah. I think in that scenario, I wasn't there for it, but it sounds like people were just salty and looking for an excuse to put the blame on you for cheating. But
I mean, as that move in general, I don't consider that cheating.
would definitely 100% not consider anything like that cheating.
Yeah, let's say I can't run. I'm just too
Exactly.
fat.
Let's say you're disabled and you literally cannot run.
I
so
can't.
everybody who's just can't, because you can't run. Yeah, that's
I'm gonna walk
the
the cover.
dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
All right, we're on the same page.
That is dumb. All right.
That's it. I don't have anything else. I'm done.
Shannon, any other cheater things?
Nothing.
off all your heads.